American-Israeli foreign policy and diplomacy definitely, I think it needs a little bit of work, as perfectly demonstrated by this cartoon. Whoopsie daisy. As of course, ruffling the feathers of a very tumultuous type of cousin-loving Middle East might not be the best of ideas. Especially if we're trying to enter in and usher in a no-war type of situation, as it looks like another one is brewing. And we have some insights from former Congressman Matt Gaetz that has been ousted from the seat of power, as he talked about a very strange, weird situation about how politicians are up for sale by a very interesting lobby that kind of humiliates them. All of this as there are going to be alleged leak hacks of the Israeli nuclear program, as right now, a lot of people are questioning this type of relationship, where we're headed, where we're going, as it looks like there's some very interesting military movements and scuttlebutt right now brewing in the Middle East that could unfold into another, longer, more than just a 12-day conflict that, of course, is on the horizon, as there's some very peculiar activity in the Strait of Hormuz. What's going to be the future of Iran? Well, according to Bibi, nuking New York or Mar-a-Lago. Some people are saying this sounds more like a threat. Anyway, we'll be getting into this and a lot more all here on this independent media organization. If you appreciate these type of very difficult conversations to have, subscribe, click the notification button. We greatly appreciate all of your attention and time that you spend with us. This, as of course, one of the most viral clips right now, comes from Matt Gaetz, who was hosting the Timcast IRL podcast, and he had this to say about lobbyists and people literally buying up politicians in the most type of humiliating type of way.
I remember my first AIPAC reception, and your
AIPAC is a lobby for Israel, essentially.
Fundraiser tells you have to go, and your chief of staff tells you have to go. Your committee chairman all tell you have to go. And you get there and you wear this name badge, and I remember there's a QR code on it. And what we were supposed to do was go talk to donors, and then if they liked you, they scanned your QR code.
Wow. Talk about being someone B. Like, hey, hi, I'm Congressman Gaetz. Where's the wall that I kiss? Here's my QR code. How embarrassing. As these are supposed to be elected representatives. And this is how politics works, right? Big people with big money come on in, and they're like, oh, look at the money we have. You want the money? Yeah, you want the money? Yeah, I'll put on this chain around your neck because we're going to own you. And the politicians are like, yes, sir. Here's my QR code. Disgusting type of behavior. Sean Ryan typed a caption saying, turns out our politicians are literally up for sale. That's because they are.
To make a donation, on the spot. And so can you just imagine how demoralizing that is to be told that your job for the next several hours to go chat people up, hoping they would scan you like a can of tomato soup on the way out of the meeting.
I mean, it's literally purchasing.
Right. And so I saw that and I was like, wow, that is so freaking weird.
Yeah, it's like you're a product. It's like you are to be someone's servant. Oh, yeah, we're going to buy this product. We're going to invest this much in it. What we're going to get from it? That's the big question here. Now, MTG and Thomas Massey also have been big kind of critics against all the kind of lobbyists and special interest groups that come on in and pretty much order and buy politicians. And they face a lot of backlash. Donald Trump is personally doing everything he can to primary individuals like Thomas Massey, who have been some of the biggest outspoken critics against this type of lobby. As, of course, there's a lot of politicians that get scanned, that get paid for, that get bought. And that's how the system runs here, as a lot of people had some very interesting things to say about this. And this is absolutely something that a lot of people don't realize just how blatant it is here. As this story now is getting a lot of attention. As people are saying, well, I thought they're supposed to represent us. Well, they don't. They represent the people that give them money. Matt Gaetz, 13 hours ago, said it was so weird. And I think we're finding out why he was kind of kicked out of a lot of the powerful positions that he was supposed to be in. If you remember, this guy was supposed to be the Attorney General of the United States. Now, he represented someone who, of course, was also accused of some very kind of salacious, horrible acts with young women. And it definitely does look like he was going after the system. And then this incident was kind of used as a way to try to silence him. Now, this kind of... Matt Gaetz also posted $7,000. Why did he post $7,000? Well, of course, Israel is paying influencers $7,000 per post to curry favors for its government, openly, blatantly buying up not just politicians, but social media influencers that are also on the payroll. I think all these individuals need to have a special badge associated with their social media accounts, bought and paid for this post. Bought and every time I do an advertisement, I'm like, thank you so much for sponsoring. This video is sponsored by, ta-da! Do we have, hey, this post sponsored by this government? No, we do not. As he retweeted, Marima Times, who posted, let's break the algorithm reply with I stand with Israel. And Gaetz is like $7,000. And listen, I would argue Matt Gaetz, I think they kicked him out for a very specific reason. Before talking about this and the conspiracies and what Bibi's talking about with Iran allegedly going out to nuke Mar-a-Lago, that's literally what he said. Before that, we wanted to tell you about wearechange.shop, one of the best shops out there because we have some of the highest quality creatine straight from Germany. If your seller of creatine can't tell you it's from Germany, be suspicious. You know, you want to know where you're getting your stuff from? Germany has the best, cleanest stuff. No toxins, no heavy metals, lots of creatine from China, contaminated with some really weird stuff. We made sure we got the purest of pure stuff, 99.99% pure. We only have 105 left of them. They go very fast. Creatine is a product that I use. I have some here on my desk. It looks like a weird baggie because the containers are pretty big to travel here. But listen, do your own homework. I just typed in creatine. This is what people are saying. The most underrated drug in the world, creatine. Most people are scared of it. You shouldn't. Do your own homework, do your own research. As Dr. Rhonda Patrick talks about how creatine rapidly reverses and even surpasses cognitive deficits caused by severe sleep deprivation. Listen, the muscle effects, huge. The cognitive effects, now that's the game changer. That's how I'm able to ramp things up. I've been working my butt off very, very seriously, and I don't think it would be possible if it wasn't for creatine. Again, creatine has been the biggest kind of game changer for me. It is our number one best-selling supplement. And again, that's because we have the best one. Literally, we talked to many professionals in this field. We got the best one, and we sell it at a good competitive price because all the other stuff that's fake, obviously, it's cheaper. You can make a bigger buck for it, but then I would feel horrible knowing that, hey, I could get contaminated, I could hurt people. I don't want to do any of that. So I really like creatine. And again, Fit Founder on Twitter says, supplements, I'm making my aging parents take creatine and then omega-3s. We also have omega-3 available on wearechange.shop as well. And we have other bundles that you could actually get a good discount on, like the brain and body discount that have creatine and fish oils. We have a 2-month supply. Creatine's 2 months. 2 fish oils. You get 2 fish oils. You get 1 creatine. 2-month supply. We only have 61 of these left. It's our best-selling bundle that actually saves you a good amount of money on. So again, if you're aging, creatine, omega-3, look into those. Start doing your own homework and research, and start living your best life. Now, let's get back here to what's kind of going on here as wearing a QR code. I mean, that's humiliating, right? begging, saying, yes, please, give me money. I represent you. It's kind of disgusting. And we have to understand that this happens far more with so many different organizations and groups and special, powerful individuals behind the scenes that are essentially hijacking our government for the pure benefit of themselves, their groups, and their buddies. Now, when it comes to the topic of Israel, it looks like there's going to be huge disclosures as the Iranians are hinting at releasing thousands of documents exposing the Israeli secret nuclear program, a secret nuclear program that they got by sabotage, by hijacking boats, by stealing information. There's a lot of lore around these type of accusations, specifically around JFK when he was president of the United States here. And of course, everyone knows Israel has nukes, but of course they never have officially declared that they have nukes. Right. Now, they want to make sure Iran doesn't have nukes, but with the way that things are going, geopolitically, Russia, if they haven't already given them nukes, could soon be giving them nukes. Now, people are saying that Israel is about to be exposed. They're about to be humiliated, especially with this disclosure. And of course, that doesn't help their kind of larger war efforts. As, listen, politicians being bought off to support Israel does make sense, obviously, since, of course, our domestic and foreign policy is being catered around their country first. Let's just be honest. You criticize your legal, law-abiding resident who's going about their green cards, who's going about the process of becoming a U.S. citizen legally through the right, proper avenues. We have ICE agents that are sent away from actually taking criminals off the street, sent to read children's op-eds in colleges to make sure that they're not too critical of Israel. And if they are, boom, your paperwork, your process eliminated. There's even considerations by the United States to try to take away the citizenship of people who criticize Israel too much, which I think is absurd, which I think is insane. I think it's wild. Now, listen, right now we have a situation where the Jerusalem Post is reporting how the Iranians are, quote, developing nuclear missiles to hit the United States. And that's what Bibi Netanyahu says, and says we got to take care of them. And then the scuttlebutt and the movement is kind of happening here. As people are saying, a major war between Iran and Israel is expected soon, involving naval, ground forces, air forces, and new combat capabilities. Unlike the 12-day conflict, this one could decide the fate of both nations. I agree. There's a lot of reports of Iran deploying a significant number of anti-ship missiles on the Persian Gulf. There's scuttlebutt that the United States could potentially be hijacking Iranian oil tankers. That has not been confirmed yet. Iran has always threatened to cut off the Strait of Hormuz, to cut off international oil trade in this specific region, which would make a big impact on the kind of global economy. Now, here's Bibi in his own words here, as Jimmy Dore had some interesting comments to say about this, saying Iran could soon target U.S. cities with nukes, specifically Mar-a-Lago, Trump's own home. Yeah, Iran's going to bomb Mar-a-Lago. Again, the Iranians aren't the biggest fans of Donald Trump, obviously. If you look at the kind of relationship between the two, it's tumultuous, especially after Trump blew up Soleimani. That was a big deal. That was a big escalation. Now, there was a lot of different type of confusing situations in Syria where Iran was fighting ISIS. Trump was fighting ISIS, and it looked at one period of time during Trump's first administration, the Iranians and the Syrians were actually on the same page, destroying radical jihadism that represents Sunni ideology. The Iranians represent Shia ideology. Now, the situation gets complex because it has been Turkey, Israel, and the United States, along with Saudi Arabia, that were, before Donald Trump came into office the first time around, supporting these Sunni radicals to take over the Bashar al-Assad government. Trump won the election. He wasn't yet in office. And then all the jihadis all around the world came together and took over the Syrian government. Now, Israel is bombing Syria because they're saying that there's jihadis there that they and their international coalition helped put in place. Confusing, yes, I know. As now, he's like, we gotta, listen, Iran's gonna nuke us. What? This is just wild.
Iran is developing now ballistic missiles that are intercontinental ballistic missiles for 8,000 kilometer range. What does that mean? They add another 3,000 kilometers, and they've got under their atomic guns, in New York City, in Target, Washington, Boston, Miami.
And now look at the sinisterness. The smiling makes it creepy. Okay, this guy Bibi, I have a lot of problems with.
Mar-a-Lago.
Mar-a-Lago. What? Iranians are going to bomb Mar-a-Lago with a nuclear bomb with ballistic missiles. What? That's just wild. The fact that he's saying it with a smile on his face makes it that much creepier. I know a lot of pro-Israeli people that are like, this Bibi guy's too much. This Bibi guy needs to just step down. Like, he's not doing anyone any favors by saying this. He literally has a social media summit being like, yeah, we're going to have social media people do our bidding. And I'm like, that's called meddling. The Russians were accused of meddling. And there was a big pushback against this type of meddling for a long time. But now we're somehow okay with it? I don't want any country meddling. I don't want any country buying our influencers to push their agenda. I want to have a natural, real, honest conversation, which independent media represented. But now, with so many people on the payroll, so many people being bought off, so many people being shills for special interest countries, whether it's Israel or Qatar or whatever, it's hard to actually have a real legitimate conversation anymore because people are monetarily invested in pushing a particular side.
Okay? So that is a very great danger. You don't want to be under the nuclear gun of these people who are not necessarily rational and who chant death to America.
As we had Jimmy Dore respond to this, saying, this actually means Bibi is desperate. He knows Americans have turned against this nonstop warmongering and terrorism. Yeah, people are like, our economy is about to crash, right? We're about to lose everything. The purchasing power of the dollar going down. Basic life becoming more and more unaffordable. But we got to worry about Mohammed wearing flip-flops over there in Iran. And we got to send our missile defenses, and we got to spend billions and billions and billions of dollars there? No. Now, granted, there's some other people that take it too far, and they're like, oh, no. We hate all people of Israel. And I'm like, that's just ridiculous. There's people in Israel protesting Bibi Netanyahu. Massive amounts of protests being like, Bibi, take the deal with Gaza. And there's even a back and forth on that. When they changed the deal last minute. And now they want to change the deal again. And I'm like, and everyone's like, dude, stop with this war. But as we mentioned before, Bibi is invested in this war because the longer these wars go on, the more he could stay in power. The more he could avoid these corruption charges that he faces. Jimmy Dore goes on. If you think Iran is dumb enough to attack inside the United States, then I got a procedure I'd like to tell you. Israel will definitely do false flags inside the U.S. Now, will they? I don't know. It depends on the scenario. Depends on the situation. Obviously, this is a key lobbying interest group that there's a lot of attention on. And I think there needs to be attention on because a lot of people are asking the questions like, can we have America first? Can we take care of our problems at first? Because, listen, a lot of this stuff is just crazy. Now, a lot of people are responding to this clip by Bibi saying, I'm worried about them doing it and blaming it on Iran. Violet says, false flag incoming. Garbage Human saying, how do boomers still buy this ish? Overwhelmingly, a lot of people are responding. And again, the comments, especially amongst the younger people, are very eye-opening. This, as a lot of people believe that we are very close to another war with Iran and that Israel wants to drag us into this war. Why? Because we're going to pay for it. And we're going to pay for it with our money, our tax dollars, and also our global reputation. Let's be honest, there's a cost to a lot of this. The last Iran strike, I would say, oh no, people are like, one and done, we're gone. I'm like, that hindered negotiations and peace talks with Iran. People do not understand just the far kind of bigger ramifications that it causes. Now Iran is doubling up on their ballistic missile production. Now, again, the fact that this is done so blatantly and so openly, like, we'll pay people. What? Stop paying people. Like, how about you engage in an actual conversation without paying people to be on your side? You know, if you are truly on the right side, you don't need to pay people to prove that you're on the right side. And what's happening in places like Gaza need to be stopped. I mean, look at this footage showing the before and after of the city there obviously is just being bulldozed. It's just being destroyed. And the answers that people are giving us to why it's being destroyed and bulldozed are just ridiculous. All right, people need to understand what we're actually seeing here, the bigger effects, the bigger ramifications of it. As of course, I'm just a big anti-war person. I think we need to push back on a lot of the wars, a lot of the insanity, a lot of the nonsense, and the politicians and influencers that are being bought off to support it have no shame. If you agree, share this video. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys taking care of your own health and buying things like the Brain and Body Bundle. This is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more, all here exclusively on youtube.com/weare.